Tony is only too well aware of, he said, "Oh, I never knew that, Robin. Sorry about that, mate," then finished it in one gulp. The cheek! Still haven't heard from Michael. It's been nearly a month now. Was feeling a little melancholy, so went into his bedroom and sat down. Rita joined me. I could see that she was also feeling sad, so I put my arm around her, and together we remained there for about half an hour, looking out into our son's room. It's funny, I'd never realised just how many photographs Michael has of his best friend Simon. I can't imagine myself having a framed photograph of Tony right by my bed, but I guess that's the younger generation for you. In the evening, I popped into the loft to check on the bird Betty situation. Wood Pigeon was now using my dressing gown as a blanket and lying underneath it as if it was actually in bed. Tried to retrieve it, but received a nasty nip. If my invention is to take off, and I'm sure it will, I will have to make a few refinements. Monday, January the 3rd, Bank Holiday. Wrote a joke today. Was particularly pleased with it because it's a topical joke. Apparently they're the hardest to write because of their topical nature. I say, do you know why they call it a bank holiday? Yes, because the banks are on holiday. I say, but do you know why the banks are on holiday? Yes, because the bank workers need a rest. I say, but do you know why the bank workers need a rest? No, I don't. I say, because this joke has worn them out. Read it out to Rita, who seemed to laugh, but she insisted on putting her glasses on first so she could listen better. Afterwards, I called Tony and treated him to a live performance. When I finished, there was silence, and then Tony said, "Could you repeat the joke, please, Robin?" I retold the joke. Once more? This I did. After my third performance, there was a very long pause. I waited nervously. Suddenly, Tony exploded in fits of laughter. "That is the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life," he said, coughing and spluttering into the phone. "Tell me it again." I'm going to send it into the local paper. They're running a joke competition at the moment called Local Follies, and this week's prize is a mini snooker table. If Tony's reaction is anything to go by, I shall be mini snookering in no time at all. I wish myself luck. Thursday, January the 6th. Robin, what are you going to do about a job? Our discussion has begun. Rita finally confronted me about my misdemeanour at the end of last year, and now there's a terrible atmosphere in the house. I told her I regretted losing my job, but that working in the customer complaints department for a company that manufactured magnets was never going to propel the Coopers into the Super League. This only seemed to make things worse, though, as Rita replied, "Thanks to your letters, we're now in the bottom division." She's right, I suppose. If I hadn't written all of those letters on company time, or more specifically got caught writing all those letters on company time, then I'd be on the bus to and from work right now. Instead, I find myself neither on the bus nor in work. I tried to explain, as I have done so many times, that each letter was a potential goldmine, and that if just one of my ideas had been taken up, just one, we would both be living like Sir and Sir S. Richard Branson. Such is the penalty one must pay as an inventor. "Well, you'd better hurry up and invent £500, said Rita. "You owe them that for the stamps." And with that, she limped out of the room. Friday, January the 7th. Felt positively negative about everything today. I've really let myself down. Worse still, I've let Rita down. In fact, I'd even go so far as to say I've besmirched the Cooper name itself. I have become a besmircher, and no one likes a besmircher. I've promised Rita that I will redeem myself and find a new job. I told her that I knew it was going to be hard, as I'm not as young as I used to be, although younger than I will be, but that everything was going to be fine, as I still had a lot to offer, even at 52 and a half. With that in mind, I went into the shed and wrote out the following list. What I, Robin Cooper, have to offer at age 52 and a half. 1. Myself. That goes without saying. 2. I am punctual. 3. I am polite. I will always open a door for a lady and close it for a gentleman. 4. I'm very good with numbers. i.e. pi.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.